Everyone hear me? All right, good. Kind of a weird setup. I can barely hear myself, but I can see when you guys nod. So, my name is Chris Cruz. I'm the managing director for technology partnerships at AWS. So, anybody that's an ISV that is building on top of AWS is managed by my team from a go-to-market perspective. So, cover the likes of Databricks, Salesforce, all these ISVs that you see out here go through my organization in one way, shape, or form. Um, so this session is on AWS Marketplace and some of the stuff that we've been doing with Databricks. And so if you take a step back, what's kind of our view for Marketplace? Our vision for Marketplace is make it to be the best place for our customers to try products out. They can find them, they can evaluate them, and they can deploy them. And we really want to provide this really nice experience for anybody that's building on top of AWS to not only use AWS services, but also use third-party products like Databricks side by side. And so it's a great way, and you can see how marketplaces have really started to take off. It's just a new way to find these products and get your hands on them quicker, which means you get to productivity a lot faster than you ever had before. And we've had, Marketplace is now a service that's over 10 years old, and we've had some really good success with Marketplace over the years. So we now have billions of dollars that's being transacted through Marketplace any given year, and we have over 3 million subscribers any given month. So we've gotten really good adoption from our AWS customer base. And when you take a look at our top customer base, over 99% of our top 1,000 customers use AWS Marketplace. And so it's a great way not only for developers to get their hands on technology, but for large enterprises, they're using this more and more as the way to actually bring in this new technology so that they can actually build on top of AWS. Now, why are they doing this? And so this is some data that comes from a Forrester study that we commissioned. But these are some of the customer benefits that we see as a result of using Marketplace. So one of the biggest benefits that our customers tell us that they receive is the fact that they can get a new vendor on board at 75% faster. It's just a lot easier because it's going through Marketplace. We've vetted these products. They go directly on the AWS bill. And so it really accelerates that time to value. And there's a whole bunch of other stuff that we also do to help accelerate that I'm going to talk about here in a second. And then, of course, there's all kinds of productivity gains. So just getting a deal done from a traditional procurement system versus a marketplace, it's 66% faster when you buy through AWS Marketplace. And because you're now consolidating all this spend across the board, our customers are also telling us that they actually are able to start lowering their overall software costs. Because now they can see, am I using the same database here versus here? Maybe I'm using duplicate products. It provides opportunity for consolidation. And so we get really good feedback from our customers that they can actually reduce their software costs by virtue of using Marketplace at scale. And so that's where it kind of gets to where Marketplace is from a growth perspective. So the catalog has grown dramatically over the years. So we have over 20,000 product listings in AWS Marketplace. And we take those listings and we actually break them down into popular technology categories. So when you're looking for security products, we group those together. If you're looking for data analytics products, we group those together. And it makes it really easy for our customers to find new technologies. And then, of course, we provide all kinds of search capabilities. So when they're looking for things that might be FedRAMP approved, or maybe running in a certain region, they can get more and more granular in terms of the technology that they're looking for. And of course, we've got over 5,000 sellers in the catalog. So when you take a look at the top 100 ISVs in the world, over 75% of them actually already listed in AWS Marketplace. And this is ranging from anything that's an open source product up to the largest applications like SAP or Salesforce are all available in AWS Marketplace. And so it's a great way to get all kinds of selection in your hands if you're building on top of AWS. Now, one of the things that we're really focused on as part of our growth strategy is what we call Marketplace Everywhere. And what we mean by Marketplace Everywhere is, our catalog has grown dramatically over the years, as you just saw on the previous slide. And that can be sometimes a good thing, and it can sometimes be a bad thing. And what I mean by that is it's so large that sometimes it's hard to find products. And so what we've started to do is say, hey, what if we could extend out Marketplace to present the right product at the right time, at the right place, to the right buyer? And that's really the background for Marketplace Everywhere. And so while everyone's familiar with the website experience, that's one place to find the technologies. One of the things that people don't really realize is that we also take Marketplace and we actually segment it down and then present complementary products side by side with AWS services. So if you go into something like SageMaker, which is our tool for doing machine learning, you're going to see listings from Marketplace that are algorithms and models. And then if you flip over to EKS, our Elastic Kubernetes Service, which is where you do container development, you're going to see different sets of products. You're going to see products that are designed to secure or observe a containerized environment. You jump over to S3, and you're going to see backup and recovery products. They can load S3 backup, and they can do that data cleansing while it's in an S3 bucket. And so this concept really presents that product at the right time in the right place, and it really helps our buyers find the technologies that they need very quickly. They don't have to go browse a catalog of 20,000 products. They can look at these subcatalogs in effect and see the technologies that are going to work side by side with what they're developing with top of AWS. Now, we didn't stop there. As part of this effort to extend our product from our marketplace catalog into other AWS services, we said, why don't we extend this outside of AWS? Like, why don't we let our partners actually start to provide a curated experience and leverage AWS Marketplace as well? And so that becomes the background for what we call Buy with AWS. Now, Buy with AWS is a feature that we launched at reInvent this most recent year. And what this allows you to do is now actually access the AWS Marketplace catalog, and you can actually build your own storefronts leveraging those products. And so as an example, you could be a reseller, and you might have the ability to have your customers log into your portal, and then you're going to display the products that you actually have resale rights over. Or your product like Databricks, and you could be in the Databricks workspace, and as you're actually spinning that up, if you want to buy, you can just hit, hey, just put this on my AWS bill. And so this starts to extend Marketplace out and allows people to transact and buy and put all that spend on their AWS bill, but now actually buy this stuff from different locations. And so this has been a really popular solution. As I mentioned, Databricks is one of our launch partners that we advertised when we launched this feature at reInvent. And this is a quote from their VP of Product Management. And so I'm not going to read this in detail, but what Databricks is looking at this feature is it's a great way to get their products in the hands of developers faster. So if you're a customer of Databricks, it's a great way to say, hey, I just want to add this to the AWS bill. And so it's a great way for you as developers to really get your hands on that technology. And it really starts to provide what we call as a backdrop to product-led growth. Because this is the way that now you as a customer can use these products easier, or as a seller, if you're Databricks, you can actually sell your products in different channels. And so that gets us into what we're really trying to do with AWS Marketplace is provide a catalog that is providing you with product-led growth technologies. And so this is great. If you're a customer, this allows your teams to get your hands on products much quicker because they look and feel like an AWS service. And if you're a seller like Databricks, it's a great way to extend your product out and get new logos as a result. And we look at product-led growth as not just a feature like Buy with AWS, that's one component of it, but it's really a sequence of features and programs that allow your technology to be consumed in consumption, kind of consumable components. So if you just want to try something out and pay as you go, product-led growth is a great way to experience this. This is one of the ways that AWS grew. When AWS first launched, people would just go in, they'd spin up a server, they would try things out, and then invariably they started to use more and more, but it allowed them to only pay for what they need. We're taking that same experience that we had with AWS and bringing that to all of our technology partners like Databricks. And so that involves things like discovery and displaying products in other AWS consoles, as I mentioned. It means providing great recommendations so that when people are looking for technologies, how do we provide the recommendations for the right products that fit the right solutions? And then providing you with ways to get those technologies very quickly. So having pay-as-you-go subscription capabilities or very low-cost annual subscriptions so you can quickly grab a product and go. And then the final step is really simplifying how you subscribe to that product, but also how you deploy that. So one of the other things that we launched at reInvent is what we call Marketplace Quick Launch. So Quick Launch is our feature that allows you to actually streamline the deployment of a third-party SaaS application via AWS Marketplace. Databricks is also one of our launch partners on this. And to give you some metrics, when you would subscribe to Databricks before they did all this, it took 67 clicks to actually go from subscription to actually deploying that product. By virtue of using Buy with AWS, using the Marketplace Quick Launch experience, we got that down to 3 clicks. So as a customer, now you can actually get your hands on products way faster. As a seller, if you're Databricks, now you get customers, you can actually deploy this out and have much more of a zero-touch sales model. And so this has been a really big effort that we focused on with AWS Marketplace. And the results speak for themselves. So this is, again, not data from AWS Marketplace. This is actually data from Databricks. And what they found is that by virtue of putting their products together in a product-led growth type of format, they saw the self-service subscriptions through Marketplace actually increased by 5x. And so that means that customers can get hands on Databricks technology far faster. And of course, the revenue went up. So now when people are buying through self-service motion, they can actually start to increase that revenue because they're just paying for what they want. And so the revenue went up by 14x. And so for all of our sellers that sell through Marketplace, they really like this capability because, again, it's a zero-touch sales model that they can deploy and provide products to their customers. Now, there's a number of other benefits that Marketplace provides as well. And so we've been talking about some of the benefits for the seller here. There's a number of features that we provide for our buyers. And so when you take a look at why people use Marketplace, I talked about those performance metrics at the start, 75% faster onboarding. These are some of the reasons why they do that. First of all, it consolidates all of your billing. So you could have multiple marketplaces, you could have multiple accounts, but if you're buying all of your technology through Marketplace, it allows you to see all that. And then that's actually going to flow into things like our cost management suite of products. So if you want to look at all of your spend, not just your AWS spend, but if you want to look at third-party spend alongside AWS, because it's going on an AWS bill, it allows you to go and do that. This is going to really streamline how you do that procurement. If your main procurement system is something like Ariba or Coupa, that's fine. We actually integrate into those systems. So you can actually have a purchase order sitting over in Ariba, and you can actually provide your third-party spend against that. And so again, it's another time benefit. Or if you want to just attach a purchase order number to your Marketplace subscription, you can easily do that when you're buying through Marketplace as well. And then of course, we provide all kinds of flexible payment structures and terms. So if you're looking to finance your software once you've bought it, we have financing options available through AWS Marketplace. If you've established a structured payment sequence with Databricks or another ISV, that's fine. We can load that in. We can actually have a 3-year contract with up to 36 different payment cycles. So if you want to have that mirror what you've actually negotiated, that's fine too. We can accomplish that through AWS Marketplace. The other piece that AWS Marketplace provides is enhanced security, governance, and control. And so this is, again, one of the more unsung heroes in terms of AWS Marketplace. So first of all, it's going to lower your security profile. We actually go through all the products that we put on AWS Marketplace. And so if as an example, if it's a machine image and we see something like a CVE that affects that image, we're actually going to stop the deployment of additional subscription of that application. And then we're going to work with the ISV, make sure that they get those fixes applied, patched, and then we'll actually make that product available again. And so you just get this additional level of assurance when you're using AWS Marketplace. You can also streamline your vendor assessments. So one of the features that we launched 2 years ago is what we call Vendor Insights. And this is a great feature because what this provides you with is an inside-out view of a SaaS application. So oftentimes when you're buying a SaaS application, your security teams are going to provide you with a packet of 200 questions that you need to provide to an ISV. Where is this product run? Is it PCI compliant? What's their backup structure? Is data secured at rest? Is it secured in transit? And you have to go and provide these packets over and over again to all of your SaaS ISVs. AWS Marketplace has actually standardized that effort. So now you can actually use the Vendor Insights profile. We've already gotten all those questions answered for popular solutions like a Databricks. And so now, instead of having to have that back and forth once you've selected a technology, you can just use the Vendor Insights profile to streamline that process and go from vendor selection to vendor deployment in a much faster time. And of course, we simplify the license management. So if you've got machine image or containerized products and you buy a block of licenses that might move around, AWS Marketplace can actually accommodate that. So you might have given this set of teams a set of AMIs, and you want to now move those over to someplace else. You can actually manage those licensed entitlements through AWS Marketplace as well, right? And so then, of course, it allows you to control what apps are actually purchased. One of the other key features that are very popular with Marketplace is what we call private marketplace. And this allows you as a customer to actually curate down those 20,000 listings that I just talked about, and you can shrink it down to your enterprise standards. So your enterprise architecture teams can say, okay, now these are all the products that we want to provide on demand, but we don't want to have these other products. We want to have those be request only. And so now you can actually curate those down to your company standards. So you can move very fast, but you can stay within those guardrails that your enterprise architecture teams have established. And so that provides great benefit as well. And then of course, we take Marketplace and we overlay it with a number of programs from Amazon Partner Network. And so things like our SaaS co-sell benefit is very powerful. So if you're a customer using Marketplace, one of the things that you want to make sure is that your people that you're working with are providing you with the right recommendations. And we provide this benefit to our sales team so that they're going to recommend the right product, even if it might not even be an AWS service. we're actually going to compensate the AWS field teams to work with third-party products like Databricks. And so this provides a much better level of assurance that they're going to do the right thing for you because they're actually financially motivated to go do that because it's going through AWS Marketplace. We've established a business process that we actually do our business planning in conjunction with our partners like Databricks. So we sit down and they actually have an interface that they can feed in all of their metrics into our business plans. So that then when we show up at a client site like yourself and it's AWS plus Databricks, we're all on the same page because we've actually got business plans that we've established and we have a mechanism to actually build those business plans together. And of course, we provide all kinds of partner connections information. So if you want to have a chat with your PDM, it's all done through Slack. And we've got all other different ways to collaborate there as well. And then, of course, you can link all of your accounts within AWS Marketplace. So if you're a seller through Marketplace like Databricks, it's tied into our opportunity management system. All of your Marketplace data is now integrated in, so you've got one system of record that you can actually identify. And then we also do a number of things on behalf of our customers, like our foundational technical reviews. And so this is where we, again, look at these SaaS applications like Databricks, and we'll actually make sure that they're running on top of AWS, and they're using the latest and greatest features from AWS to provide our customers with a world-class experience. We call that a foundational technical review, and we actually use our own generative AI capabilities to do that. So a company like Databricks will submit all their documentation, our generative AI application reads through all that documentation, verifies that this runs on top of AWS, it's using all the latest and greatest features, it's gonna be a great product for our customers, and gives that stamp of approval. And that puts them into all of our different co-sell programs so that now as a customer, you're gonna get a really good experience when you're buying a product like Databricks out of AWS Marketplace. And so, these are just sort of a snippet of some of the things that we've been doing with AWS Marketplace to provide not only a great customer experience, so how you can buy products that are gonna look and feel more and more like a first-party service, but then also providing a great experience to our sellers like Databricks so they can have a much deeper integration to AWS. And we feel that that combination, when you put those two things together, provides this unified experience that for our customers is world-class. And so we're really excited about what we've been doing with Marketplace. Databricks has been one of our design partners over and over again, as you saw with our Buy with AWS capabilities. And so we think there's all kinds of additional potential here to continue to integrate third-party ISVs deeper into that AWS system with AWS Marketplace. And so thank you for attending. A couple key takeaways for us today. So if you haven't tried AWS Marketplace, go in and try it. It's very easy to do. If you are a seller that's got your products on Marketplace, experiment with the Buy with AWS. Doesn't matter if you're an ISV seller or if you're a reseller or a distributor, you can actually use AWS Buy with AWS to take care of that. And then, of course, if you're a customer, go in and try. It's very easy to innovate. You can try all kinds of new technologies. And then, put us to work. We have all kinds of teams in place to help support what you're doing with AWS and these third-party products. With that, I've got a minute left, so thank you very much for attending. And there was a survey, I think, at the start, so please fill that out in the application if you could. And I'll be over in the back here if you have any additional questions.